Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IWC Radio Podcast. It is a new week. It's 1 week removed from Extreme Rules, and joining me tonight, it is Chucks and Will. Beans on assignment, christening his kid, hopefully without a champagne bottle like I insinuated last week. So, how are you guys doing?
Hello.
There you... Oh, my God.
Oh. Yeah, someone had to.
Keeping the trend alive. Let's see. I already cracked open the can of audio whoop ass, so I'm just gonna take the tab off. Come on. There we go.
Like,
there we go.
I just have a glass of Coke, which actually I've nearly drunk now because we took so long before the show.
Sorry, yeah, I got.
This happens every week.
It happens, yeah, it really does. It's like the pre-show is better than the actual show that we don't record. It really does. It's like, also, I just accidentally had some of the stream bleed through there. There we go. Never mind. Let's mute that real quick. Okay. Yeah, not much to talk about this week. We're just gonna recap Extreme Rules. We got a few.
I'm fine, by the way.
Do what?
You had your chance.
I'm fine, by the way.
You have a fan?
Jesus. I'm fine, by the way.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, I'm sorry. I said, how are you? And then Chuck did the hi as Beans, and then...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just joking.
Okay, my bad.
Do you have a drink that you want to
Yeah.
I don't, actually. I'm in a similar situation to you. I've kind of drank it all, and now I need another one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Then we started this at totally the wrong time. We should have refilled.
We should.
Well, nothing we can do now.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's always the post-show where we play Rocket League where you can get a drink, and then...
Yeah, we'll just have to drag this out for the next hour or so.
God, yeah. Jeez.
Hope we don't dry up too much in this heat.
Yeah, it's definitely the dog days of summer. For sure.
It's not been as bad for us today, but apparently we're in for it again next week, so it's kind of cooled down a bit. But yeah, don't like the heat.
It's just not going away. We joke every year. We have the 2 really hot days. We go, well, that was it. That's summer. This time it's been like nearly 2 months now, right, of decent heat. And 25 degrees apparently we're having, 27 next Thursday. Well, it's not bad.
I did see London possibly getting 30 on Monday, Tuesday. I mean, like, we're quite away from London, but still, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right. 29 there, Monday, Tuesday, 30 on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Saying that, we'll be complaining in a couple of weeks when it's snowing. So.
I'd like a bit of snow now, actually. Let's bring on the snow.
Here in the winter, it gets abysmal, and I hate it. So anything in between, I'm for, as long as it's not excruciatingly hot or unbearably cold. So
that's kind of like what we're getting at the minute, though. We had a pretty cold winter, and now we're getting a pretty hot summer.
Yeah, it really dragged on that winter as well. We had snow in March.
Yeah.
And then 30 degrees by like May.
Yeah. Same thing over here. It just kind of like skipped from winter all the way to summer. So.
Yeah, not a lot of in between. Shall we just get straight into it then?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yep, the papers. I got the music.
I got some paper right here for you. It's around here somewhere. Where did I write this down? There it is.
Also, Will, did we get in trouble for using the high quality music last week?
No, we didn't.
Good. All right, so I'm using it again. All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's cut.
So, going into this one, I guess I was in the lead slightly, if I remember right.
Yes.
23 points, Will on 20, Beans on 16, and Smoot on 14. So, this is a big card. Anything could happen. Anything.
Anything.
Literally anything.
Anything.
let's start with the pre-show as we do. I didn't watch this, so hopefully you guys can fill in some blanks here.
All right.
Andrade Almas, predictably, I say because we all predicted him, defeated Sin Cara.
Yeah, that was a match that happened. I saw it. I don't remember too much about it. I do remember all this going for like some sort of move in between the ropes, only for him to do the little whip around and then just do like the pose while on the ropes, while Zelina was on the bottom side doing the same pose with him. That was pretty cool. Aside from that, not much memorable, if I can remember. So that's my main takeaway. And then they went to like the commercial or whatever they usually do.
Right. Okay, and I'm just dropping a bowl.
That sounded expensive.
Fortunately, not so much. It didn't break.
Okay.
But I will try not to do that again, because you just never know. Next up, we had a ad break, as you say. We came back, and Sanity, the new three-man group, beat the old three-man group of New Day in a tables match. So that is a point for me and for Beans, for predicting that they would put over the new guys.
Yeah.
Right move, I think.
Yeah. At one point they had like an upside down table on top of a regular setup table, and
Ow.
Yeah, if this was NXT, I feel like they would have definitely done that spot, but I don't think they would. No way. I don't think that's going to happen on mainstream TV, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I haven't. With Chuck, I didn't see the pre-show, but I heard this was a good match.
It was. Yeah. It made Sanity look good, I guess. Kofi Kingston taking the table bump from the, I think, apron? Somewhere around the apron region and to the floor. And, yeah, it was pretty good.
It was just the one table bump, right? It wasn't.
Yeah,
you didn't have to put all three of them through there.
No, it wasn't a table elimination. It was just this flat-out table match. So
That's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
First table to a finish. Sudden table rules.
Yeah.
I do love a good table bump, though. I would quite like to have seen an elimination version of that. Okay, main show. Let's get on to the important matches.
The stuff that people actually saw.
Let's start with the most important of them all. Actually, I guess I tuned in late because I turned it on at it must have been 1 a.m. when pay-per-views used to start here. And I had Nakamura and Jeff Hardy in the ring. I thought, okay, yeah, this is a good show opener. This makes sense. And then, well, I'll talk about that in a bit. I then dropped off. I just was too tired. I had no time for this. And then came back to watch it the next day, and the B team came out at this. No, I think did I skip an hour in?
Yeah.
And then it was like way too late or something.
Yeah. It's
like, this wasn't what I remembered. Turns out, anyway, I missed a whole hour off the front of the show.
Yeah.
So I'm just totally out of the loop when it comes to times. B team. The B team are still undefeated. You guys get your point back from that last match. Smoot and Will both predicted the B team. Me and Beans thought that they would stick with the actual stars. Apparently not.
I mean, I think the whole Woken thing is done. Like it got as popular as it did in TNA, and I don't think WWE could ever recapture the lightning in a bottle, so to speak. And I think Go ahead.
Sorry, go on. I think they had a chance. I think that the Ultimate Deletion they did. That was quite good, and they just didn't capitalize on it. They just kind of forgot about it and then didn't do any more with it.
Well, when you have Michael Cole just burying it.
Well, yeah,
that didn't help.
Yeah, he's like, I'm
and
apologizing for what you're about to see. So
it felt somehow like a nostalgia act, like they were repeating something that had been done before, rather than carrying on a character that was current.
I don't think, and this is kind of the problem with WWE, is that they want to control everything and don't let like spontaneity being a thing, spontaneousness. Because like
No, spontaneous is the word. You had that right.
Yeah. Hard for me to say, but yeah, I don't think they. If they were a little bit more open to superstars doing stuff off the cuff, I think you would have more moments like the final deletion or the broken gimmick being more of a success, something like that in WWE itself. Then you'd have guys get over and all this other stuff. But
it also really hurts when they call up a character, like an already established character from NXT or from the Indies, and kind of expect everyone to know how we got here.
Yeah.
Like with with the broken gimmick in TNA, there was a reason for it to happen. They were the Hardys. They lost the tag belts, and Matt kind of flipped out at Jeff and lost his mind.
Yeah.
And it spawned from there, and it grew into what it now kind of isn't. Same goes for so many. Like Bayley, when she got called up, that made sense in NXT. She'd had like a whole rise up the career path, and then I don't know, she was just kind of there and hugging people, and no one really knew why.
Asuka, with the incredible undefeated streak, now called up on the main roster and is just getting clowned. Getting clowned on constantly in matches. Yeah. You would never know that she had like an undefeated streak in NXT unless they told you, or you watch the product on Wednesday nights on the network. Yeah. So, I mean,
Owens and Zayn, that whole story happened off TV. You'd never know that someone like Neville was a star at one point. So many examples of stuff.
This kind of feels like deja vu from last week when we went over this, but yeah. Bo Dallas at one point was
Bo Dallas. Well, even they don't mention Bo Dallas as NXT champion anymore.
No.
They kind of whitewashed that. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. So Bo Dallas, he is a champion again for the first time since that NXT title reign, which has to have been quite a while ago now. Tag champions. I was looking actually at where was it? I think it might have been on our own wrestling news website that we're on now. And it said that that Hardy and Wyatt were being advertised as champions on an upcoming Raw.
Really?
So it might just be old ads that have gone out, or it may be that they're planning on ending this little thing soon. Who knows?
The thing is, though, if the Woken stuff were to end, where does Matt Hardy go from here?
Yeah.
That's
I don't know. I kind of. It just seems that this is it now. He's going to be like Goldust. He's just there.
Yeah.
He's wacky. He shows up when you need someone. He's just there.
Yeah, and also Bray Wyatt could always just go back to the creepy, weird stuff that he's been doing for years now. And then the flip side of that, though, is maybe Wyatt turns on Hardy, and then you're back to the Hardy-Wyatt angle again. Prior to
see that again.
Prior to the Ultimate Deletion, so you're back to square one with them. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Where do we go now? Finn Balor. Finn Balor. Which gives points to me, Smoot and Beans. Will, I'm sorry. Constable Corbin could not beat the little man.
Yeah, he tried though.
He did try, just not hard enough. That's about that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that was a match that happened. And so then Carmella. Really, we've got nothing about it.
It really wasn't in the song.
Nothing about it.
I mean, you have Corbin, who's the constable. He's wrestling in clothes, looking like a waiter. He pretty much dominated the majority of the match, and then Balor scoops him up with a roll-up in a fluke win. 1, 2, 3, and that's all she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That is it.
Yep.
So James Ellsworth got thrown into a cage, hoisted up above the ring. Carmella and Asuka wrestled around a bit. Ellsworth threw a couple of things down. Didn't really get anywhere. He then escaped the cage and fell down and was suspiciously wearing like a hoist, like what would you call it? Like a harness
Yeah.
to hang from his foot.
Well.
Which I guess we weren't supposed to see, but as he was hanging upside down, his hoodie fell up.
Yeah.
And the commentators asked, "Is he wearing like a flak jacket or something?" Bulletproof vest. So that was a bit of a disaster, but a funny spot anyway. And in the end, Carmella won again.
Yeah. Also, the shark cage was kind of suspiciously low hanging. Like it was close to the canvas there. So
yeah,
it was kind of, I don't know, like this was not a good match heading into the pay-per-view. We knew there was going to be shenanigans from Ellsworth and such, and if anything, kudos for trying to make pepper spray a thing in professional wrestling again. Yeah, there was that. There's the spray. I think a chain was dropped at some point. And I think Graves said something like, "Nobody frisked him before the match," something like, or it might have been Saxton. I don't know. But yeah, no, he was the major focal point of the match, as opposed to the two competitors in the ring. And again, with Asuka losing, you would have never known that she had an undefeated streak in NXT. Was beating up the crew members during and after the match. After she lost. Carmella just pretty much doinked her head off of the shark cage and then picked up the victory to retain the SmackDown's Women's Championship. Now the question is, who does Carmella face at SummerSlam for her to drop the title? Think maybe Becky Lynch, maybe a returning Charlotte.
You think she's dropping it so soon?
I don't like. Here's the thing: they're trying to make a big deal out of Becky. But I'm wondering if it's just going to be another, like, okay, she's got a title match coming up, and she loses again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, for right now, I know, we're some days away from SummerSlam, but for right now, if it was Carmella versus Becky, I would probably pick Carmella to retain.
Yeah, just quickly, I have no idea what I was thinking when I predicted Asuka for this one, because this is exactly what was obviously going to happen. This was you all saw it coming. I'm sure I must have. I don't know.
This was one of your pen malfunction matches, I think.
Well, before we talked about it, I had written down my predictions, and I don't know why I wrote that one down. There must have been something in my head at that time that made sense, but I haven't since been able to work out what it was. Yeah, I think you're right. Becky could well be the next one, but I don't see it. So Charlotte was only the feud before this one. It was Charlotte twice, then Asuka twice. So I don't think you can go back to Charlotte so soon. I think Becky or maybe Naomi, but as I say, they're building Becky up. It's got to be.
Naomi's another one that's been kind of under the radar lately.
Yeah. It just seems too soon for her to lose it, I think. If they're doing this gimmick where she lucks out or cheats her way to winning, they've got to keep it going a little bit.
The flip side is that they're teasing like the fact that Carmella is no longer a boyfriend to James Ellsworth, so maybe he tries to interfere, but ends up causing Carmella to lose the match instead of helping her out. So isn't that what happened
last time? Isn't that why he ended up leaving? She dumped him.
Well, yeah.
So that could happen eventually, but I don't think it's going to happen so soon.
I think it was also the Becky versus Ellsworth match as well. Way back in the day. So maybe that'll play a factor somehow. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, I think you could be right. It could be Becky next, but not in a win. It seems like one of those storylines a bit like when they did it with JBL way back in the day. And they had him beat every top star on SmackDown. Undertaker and Booker and Kurt Angle and Big Show and everyone who was around at the time. And then when John Cena got the chance at WrestleMania, it was like a guy kind of out of nowhere. He'd beaten everyone there was to beat, and then suddenly this out of nowhere came this new challenger is entered. So I'm kind of thinking maybe she does this now. Carmella does that. She's beaten Charlotte, she's beaten Asuka. Those are the big two. Beat Becky, probably beat Naomi at some point, and then who's the kind of surprise? Who's going to end this streak? Don't know. Maybe if Nikki Bella comes back, or if they call up Nikki Cross or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
No, I think it could be someone that you don't really expect, someone who's not around at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so I dropped a point on that one. Next up was Shinsuke Nakamura, your new United States champion, beating Jeff Hardy in 6 seconds.
Mm.
Yeah, this I should have seen this one coming.
You should have. We all got points. You dropped one.
Reportedly Jeff Hardy was like banged up and injured, so this is why this match was kept pretty short.
It's a shame. This could have been a really good match.
It could have been, yeah. Also, Jeff Hardy should have probably brought a dog. Just throwing that
See,
out there.
I don't get that, because, I get maybe he was hurt, but they had a pretty long match on SmackDown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was the
Don't know
report
why.
coming out of Extreme Rules, but then they had the rematch on Tuesday, which they kind of hyped up on the pay-per-view by saying that, they're going to invoke the rematch clause, but Paige didn't sanction the match at the time,
Yeah.
and then later on it was a done deal, so that was kind of strange. I don't know, they had a pretty good match, and then on the pay-per-view, Randy Orton came out after everything was said and done. Well, Nakamura retained, or actually won the championship from a pre-match low blow to Hardy.
Mm.
And then I think he hit him with a Shinsasa or whatever.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then Randy Orton came out, and then he also hated Jeff Hardy's nuts, and he put a foot to that. And then so the rematch happened on Tuesday, and lo and behold, Randy Orton comes out, interferes, costing Jeff Hardy the U.S. title again, and then put his finger in Jeff Hardy's little earring.
This was the worst.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's so gross.
That's why I loved it.
I guess, but yeah, so many of these spots, I guess, look a little too safe, or
Yeah.
you've seen them too many times, and nothing's really very shocking. You can hit someone with a chair or a stick or whatever, and it's same old. But to pull on the earlobe like that, it's it really was like.
I'm gonna throw it up on the screen real quick. Yeah, that was just pulling on the ear. Yeah, that's something you don't see every day.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I thought maybe he was actually just gonna rip the ear.
Oh, yeah.
There was a bit where he was just pulling it.
Mm.
What are you doing? Are you actually gonna tear his ear off? Because Jeff Hardy would probably be all right with that. He's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that was gross.
And that's why SmackDown's a better show.
SmackDown is the better show.
Definitely at the minute.
So at the pay-per-view, when the match was over and Randy Orton came out, did either of you guys realize that he was gone?
I mean, I kind of knew. Yes, I knew he was gone for a while because I kind of pay attention to things like that. But at the same time, he was not missed.
It didn't seem that long since he was on 2 months, was it? Something?
Yeah.
They said 2 months, but most people, if they weren't on TV for 2 months, I'd probably start thinking, where's... if Roman Reigns wasn't on for 2 months, I'd notice that.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, Cena hasn't been on in months.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But yeah, Randy Orton went. I saw him and thought, oh yeah.
The Bar?
He hasn't been around a while, has he?
The Bar? Cesaro and Sheamus?
The Bar, yeah, I've noticed that they've been gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what's happened to the Bar?
No. No idea.
Strange.
Did read a story last week. Apparently they've been there every taping, but they've just gone out and for them.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. No comment on that. That speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to add to this match? I,
And
do
the
you,
6-second matches.
yeah. Do you care about? How about this? Do you care about Randy Orton being a heel more than a face now?
I think
He's...
Orton's always been better as a heel, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he sticks his finger in the fucking earlobe holes of people. That would have been great if you just called him like a damn millennial at the same time. That would have been great.
Jeff Hardy actually older than Randy Orton?
Probably.
I think he is. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Jeff's got to be 40 now. Yeah, he's 40. He'll turn 41 next month. Randy Orton, I believe, 38. Okay. Next up was Kevin Owens beating Braun Strowman by being thrown off the cage.
Yeah.
Cool spot. Strowman didn't care at all about losing.
Nope.
Made a joke about it.
Yep. He's also
I
got the
see
case.
no laughing matter about giving Beans a point. But Strowman, I don't know.
I mean, heading into this, I was trying to see which panel of the cage was going to be gimmicked to be thrown out the side of. And when he did, and when they were doing like all sorts of stuff up against all 4 middle sections of the cage, I was like, all right, it's not the middle partitions, maybe it's one of the side ones. And then they were going up to the top and teasing the chokeslam. I was like, no way, and it ended up turning out to be a poor man's Mankind Hell in a Cell spot from like 20 years ago. So.
Well, you mentioned the gimmick. I didn't like the way you could blatantly see the airbag underneath the table.
Yeah, there was that. I didn't like the fact that on the replay of Owens coming down and hitting the table, the backside cameraman got a majority of the back of Michael Cole's head for the spot, for the landing. That's just a case of filming it better, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I get why they put the airbag in there now, but it just seemed. But yeah, it was still look good, but just when you see the replays and you can clearly see that the bag's there. That's not the second time I've seen that now with when Owens has been involved as well. Maybe he doesn't like taking them spots. Well, he would.
Well, Shane would, but then he had an airbag as well.
True.
Yeah, see, this was like a majority of the one slow-mo replay was just a shot of Michael Cole's head.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it was.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and then, like, this is the other thing that kind of irks me, is that they had like the cleanup and whatnot, and then the very next match the table gets reassembled.
See, I'm okay with that because it's been so long that those tables get destroyed over and over and over. By now it would make sense that someone in management would have thought of maybe making some tables that are kind of like Lego or something that you can just put back together. Like, we need a table. Let's just make one that you can clip back in. You know?
That's all they are, really. A couple of years ago, we were at a Raw taping.
Yeah.
And that's all they are. They just click together. They're just boards of, I'll say plastic, but they're not plastic. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just click together. So I kind of get why it shouldn't take them that long to put back together.
Yeah. It's kind of like if they were to do a segment explaining that we're doing a Hell in a Cell match just in case, because over the years people have been thrown off. We're going to put some airbags under the announce tables,
Right.
just in case. Maybe they don't get used, but if we need them, they're there.
I don't, like I said, I don't have a problem with the airbags or the crash pads or whatever being a thing to use. You just got to make sure that it's not seen to the camera.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Don't mind if I do use them. I just don't want to see them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, even with the Shane spot when he fell from the Hell in a Cell at that whatever WrestleMania was against the Undertaker. Like, you could tell the announce table we used like a rubber padding on the surface. Like, come on. They just got to do a better job filming it better. That's the thing. That's all.
It's difficult. Remember back in WrestleMania 17 when Triple H landed on the crash pad?
Oh God.
That was the worst. That's the worst one.
Christ.
Okay, switching gears. The Bludgeon Brothers were next, and point for me and Beans again. Yeah, Bludgeon Brothers beat Team Hell No, so they are not tying Daniel Bryan down with a belt.
No, I guess not. I kind of wanted a refund on this point because the Bludgeon Brothers attacked Bryan and Kane before the match backstage.
Yeah,
they did.
This is a questionable point. I think.
Yeah, and then Kane. They had the match anyway, beating up Daniel Bryan against the Bludgeon Brothers, and Kane showed up in a fucking boot, a medical boot.
He is apparently legit injured. That's why they did this. So.
Yeah, that's why they did. Yeah, had we known this heading into it, I would have gone with the Bludgeon Brothers instead of Hell No.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know that he was legit injured either.
Yeah, he happened. Like it was something during like the weekend. Like he was at a rally or something, and people noticed that he was like noticeably limping on.
I read it was on the SmackDown a bit before he did it done.
Yeah.
But it didn't really flare up until obviously days later.
Yeah.
Doesn't he usually just stamp his foot when he breaks his ankle, and everything's okay?
Back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day, and just clunk and stop limping. Don't know why I didn't just do that. Anything about the match? I thought Daniel Bryan was pretty good when it's 2-on-1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Turns out that guy can wrestle a little bit.
You
know who can't?
Who?
Doesn't stop him though. Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley.
Oh.
This sucked.
Yeah.
This was 15 minutes long, and I don't know why.
Yeah, Lashley took like a major bump on the outside from inside the ring where he just landed on the floor on his hip, and it looked awful. That looked like a rough landing. That's a spot that needed a crash pad. Even really on camera.
The commentator said, like, didn't he hit his head on the apron on the way down? They did a replay from a different angle. No, he didn't. He just landed all that way, right on his eyes. Oh. Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah, And
so there were all sorts of chants during this one. CM Punk got one. Was you both suck or whatever it was. This is awful. I think it was. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks.
Yeah. It was also all against Reigns. There was no like, come on Lashley or whatever. Because
no one cares about Lashley.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, and the build to this is basing egos from like 10 years ago or whatever. Because Lashley left and wanted to do other things, and Reigns is upset over that for some reason. Why should people care about that? People don't want to see Reigns. Yeah, people don't want to see Reigns as a top guy. Why do you want to make it about being a top guy in the company? Like, it just, I don't know. It baffles me that they chose that direction. So.
And we get to see it all again on Monday. Yay!
Yeah, that's true.
Oh God, yeah. So
Lashley won here, which none of us get the point for. So we all get.
Did we all go for Reigns? Yeah, we did. Yeah. I still think that was the right move, even though it wasn't. How are we to know? So this was apparently supposed to be the main event, but they switched it because they knew that this would be the reaction. Which, that's the case forever. Until you stop trying to push Reigns as the top guy, this is going to happen forever. So you make him the champion at SummerSlam. What, he opens the show? He goes on somewhere in the middle? Forever?
He gets the WWE title and he just defends it on the pre-show, and people are still shitting on him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did read that apparently Vince wasn't there.
Really?
He wasn't backstage at Extreme Rules, and that was a big reason why they switched it. Because You'd assume if he was there, it would have been a main event. So, yeah, apparently he wasn't at Raw or SmackDown either. He takes a holiday apparently.
Huh?
Really?
Hasn't been there yet. Which I didn't know he took holidays. I didn't know he
I didn't
slept.
think he ever did.
Yeah.
Wonder where he goes on holiday.
Great Yarmouth.
Wonder what he would have to say about Great Yarmouth. He's not a big fan of Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a disease.
So yeah, okay. So on Raw, these guys both won their triple threat matches. They are now going to have a number one contenders match next Monday. This was announced. Was it like Instagram or something? And Lashley replied, "So we just gonna ignore the fact that I just beat the guy."
Nice.
Classy. I love it.
I didn't like the way on Raw they kept saying Lashley used Reigns' spear to win the match.
Yeah.
Hasn't Lashley always used a spear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember,
For a long
anyway.
time. Yeah.
Should have been Lashley used Goldberg's spear to defeat Reigns. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, the finish was the most surprising thing to me about this match. I was not expecting, as you can tell, that Lashley would win this, but apparently I'm guessing they're setting this up on the Monday. They had 2 triple threat matches. Reigns was in one of them, Lashley was in another. They both won their respective matches, and now this upcoming Monday it's going to be Reigns versus Lashley. Winner faces Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Real quick, who do you guys think is going to win on Monday to face Lesnar for the title?
None of them.
None of them.
None of them.
I mean, on one hand, if it's Lashley, you could set up like an MMA star versus an MMA star type of angle. Maybe have like some weird knockoff UFC match, submissions rules or something like that for the two of them for the WWE title, and that could be something different. And then alternatively, if it's Reigns versus Lesnar, I think Lesnar retains and he's going to hold on to the title throughout the UFC stint to, face Daniel Cormier for the UFC title and then become dual champion from both companies.
I can't see them having Reigns and Lesnar again at SummerSlam.
You say
Surely
that.
they've done that enough now.
You say that, but
Yeah, I know it's gonna happen, but I just not
Well,
again.
if it does happen, we'll have
Please.
to go on in the middle again.
yeah.
I think there has to be some kind of draw, and it goes to a triple threat.
Yeah, I'm thinking triple threat. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you
Also-
see they interviewed what's the UFC guy's name? Cormier.
Yeah.
Say Brock Lesnar.
The one that does the Cathy Kelly. She was at the SPs, is it?
Yes.
And they interviewed him, and it was on .com, I think. And they just asked him about what he's up to and stuff like that. And she said, "Would you ever consider showing up at a WWE event?" And he sort of teased possibly.
Huh.
So whether or not they're gonna do something at SummerSlam, I doubt it, but you never know.
He's gonna show up as a fan and then like hop the barrier at like the wrong moment, like Ronda Rousey did.
Rousey did it.
Yeah. Which was that the next match? Chucks?
That
It wasn't.
was. the
Hey!
next-
Good
Segue.
segue.
Going.
This was awful.
Yeah, it was.
It was. Yeah.
As a match, as an Extreme Rules match, and as a run-in.
Yeah.
This should never have been Extreme Rules.
Yeah,
So,
they probably
Alex-
could have gave that to Reigns and Lashley and maybe make people care a little bit more about it.
I mean, as much as I like Alexa, she couldn't even lift the chairs up properly.
Yeah, I felt so bad.
She was struggling with the chairs. It's like,
It was like the softest hit with the chairs.
That's not her fault, I suppose, but I don't know. It shouldn't have been Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Yeah, both.
So yeah, Alexa won. She retained, and we all get points for that.
Ronda, for whatever reason, we knew she was going to jump the barrier, but she jumped the barrier when, what was it, Mickey James was taking on Natalia and beating her up in the corner of the barricade with a kendo stick. And Ronda was like, I can't take this anymore. Ah!
It's that look on her face, that stern look. She needs to stop doing it.
It fucking makes me afraid. That's a very intimidating look that she has. If anything, she should keep doing that. That's the only thing. And it's even more scary when she has like a stupid hairdo, like she did on. Was it the pay-per-view with the braided look? Like, it was like you made. Like
it was. Yeah,
it was like you made an incorrect joke on like Orange is the New Black against her, and then she just is gonna like go apeshit on you or something like that. She should keep that look going, as well as the goofy hairdos, because she can definitely back it up. But yeah, no, the match itself was kind of just garbo, but we all get a point, so
yay!
That's almost the same as not getting a point, but
yeah. But, getting a point is, I think, it's better than not getting a point.
True.
A little bit.
In the long run, yeah.
In the long run. Okay, so next up was the real main event, I think. Because it's for the WWE title. AJ Styles, again, points all round, beat Rusev. Nice to see Rusev in a main event, but it was not to be.
Nope, not this time. I'm glad that they didn't do the angle that I proposed with the GTV or whatever, with Lana cheating on Rusev with Aiden English or whatever backstage or something like that. Although for a main event championship match, it was kind of peculiar how she wasn't there and Aiden English was. So I don't know. That could have been a factor. Instead, it was Aiden English trying to help out Rusev by taking off the turnbuckle cover while the referee's back was turned, and Rusev ended up hitting the exposed corner, and that got AJ Styles the 1-2-3 to retain.
Exactly.
A very modest finish that didn't work out for the heel. Styles is going to be champion heading into SummerSlam. So.
And then on SmackDown, the follow-up was Aiden English trying to apologize to Lana for costing Rusev the title, and Lana saying, maybe you are not right for Rusev. So hopefully this isn't the end of the act, but they're at least teasing some kind of split.
Yeah.
Would be a shame, because what the hell does Aiden English do?
That's a valid point. Yeah.
Yeah. Good match, I guess. Nothing too special, but new challenger. That's cool. It's always good to see new faces in the top end. So main event. Speaking of new faces in the main event, Seth Rollins is back. He is the man again. Only he's not, because he lost. So this is a 30-minute Iron Man. Dolph Ziggler retained again. Smoot Beans, you knew this was going to happen. Me and Will, I don't know what we were thinking. It was not time to flip-flop back. But, yeah. So this was an Iron Man match done kind of well, I think. They used the stipulation pretty well. They had Rollins go up 3-0. Was that right? Yeah. Because then McIntyre attacked him for a DQ to make it 3-0. Ziggler used that to come back to 3-3. Then 4-3. Rollins got one back. They did. I don't like the finish where the guy runs out of time. It's like crawling into a cover, but runs out of time.
They overuse that
to get
so many times.
Every time they do that one.
It's overblown.
Yeah. Not a big fan.
Real quick.
And then, of course, the overtime announcement. It's 4-4. The champion retains on a draw. Yay, yay. Walking up the ramp and then, oh no, the GM is out.
Yeah.
We're not going to finish this night this way. No, you can't do this. Not a big fan of that one either. But they did it, and Ziggler won pretty quickly, 5-4 in extra time.
Yeah, I think Jason Solomon pointed this out, where you had these two on Raw like a couple months back. I think it was like part of the gauntlet match that they had. They went in like a half hour, and they only scored one fall. And then suddenly they're placed in a match where wins and losses... In WWE, wins and losses are not supposed to matter that much, yet they're placed in a match where wins and losses matter. And then these guys score like, 6 falls in the first 10, 15 minutes of the match. It was kind of ridiculous, in a way.
Yeah.
When you think about it like that.
Kinda, to some extent. It's similar, like we have the same complaint every year at Survivor Series, when everyone gets pinned in no time at all from like a clothesline.
Yeah.
I find it a problem then. With this one, not so much, because it was kind of surprise roll-ups and stuff, and one of the falls was a DQ, because McIntyre ran in, and then kind of anything after that point, I feel like it's an unfair advantage. Of course you're getting pinned. So, yeah, at least they explained why these guys were losing so quickly.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And the other thing was the fact that, McIntyre, I even called this, he won the right to be in Ziggler's corner and then ended up getting ejected from the match.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, yeah, it's okay because it worked out for Ziggler in the end, I guess, but still, and then at the end, he comes out of nowhere and then gives Ziggler the win, help him out to retain. I don't know. It seemed a little. It shouldn't have ended the pay-per-view. How about that? Because he also had, I don't know if we mentioned it, but the crowd was also counting down from 10 of every minute. And then they took the clock off the Titantron, and then they were just doing it for the hell of it. Sometimes they were on cue with it, by luck.
Yeah. That was so great. They would make the noise too. Then.
Yeah, that was great. That was awesome.
There's a clip going around Twitter. Ziggler's got Rollins in the headlock.
Yeah, it was 13 minutes. 13 minutes 5 seconds left on the clock when this happened.
And basically talking about it, he says so it was worse when they had the clock on the screen.
And Rollins is like, that's why they should have left it up there.
Taking it off was just asking for trouble. I don't know why they did that. They would have stopped it eventually.
There was a couple of times where it was nowhere near the end of the minute. So why are they doing it now?
Yeah.
I didn't realize they're taking the clock off the screen.
Yeah, because now they made it worse. This goes back to what I said earlier. WWE likes to control its product, its stars, its fans, everything. They like to have a control on it. So if the fans were trying to, distract away from the match to entertain themselves or whatever it may be, because they weren't being entertained by the match, that was apparent. Then I just, who's really to blame? Is it going to be the fans because they're trying to make a bad match that they're not entertained by? Which it wasn't a bad match, but are they trying to entertain themselves because they've been sitting there for 4 or 5 hours and they're probably exhausted? Or
there's that, and it's an Iron Man match, which is always really difficult to get people into.
Exactly.
Because we know it's going 30 minutes and nothing important's going to happen before the end.
Right. That's what I was about to say. It's the same old predictable booking for an Iron Man match that WWE always does.
And even if it wasn't, there's no way you can do an Iron Man match without everyone knowing it doesn't matter until the end.
Right.
Like whether it's 10-0 at the end or 5-5, or there's, one guy goes way out in front and then the other has to like make up the score in time, or whether it's a submission hold and either they tap before the end or they hold on, whatever it is, let's just wait until the last minute.
Yeah. It's like, to the fans, it's basically WWE's going to waste 30 minutes of your time of this match only to...
And it'll probably be good.
Yeah.
But what does it matter?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just... it shouldn't have ended the pay-per-view. If anything, they should have started it out with the Iron Man match, and then maybe the fans wouldn't have been as... I wouldn't say hostile, but maybe just rude at that. Like,
Then what do you finish with? Do you actually put Reigns on last?
No. I think you would have ended with the AJ Styles-Rusev match.
Mm.
For the WWE title, because that's what should close the show, is the WWE title itself.
Yep. Yeah. And the face one. So, yeah, I think that's...
Yeah.
Yeah. But then that's SmackDown. You can't have SmackDown main eventing. God.
It's the better show. Of course you can.
No, it's not the flagship show.
Well, then you get people leaving in the middle, well, at the end of the in the middle of the match at the end of the show.
Yes, you do.
And then you have this time around people just mimicking the Royal Rumble clock, which I don't understand how you can blame the fans for that. Like,
no, you can't. Any of these beach balls or anything, you can't blame the fans.
Quality over quantity. That's all you got to do.
Listen to them.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Maybe what they're saying means something. Maybe you should push the beach ball. Who knows? Hey, they obviously love the beach ball.
That's true.
Give people what they want. Smiles on faces. So. Yeah, points for Smoke and Beans predicting Ziggler's win.
Yep.
Now, where are we altogether? Will, I'm afraid this was not your night. You got 6 out of the 12.
It's 50%. I'll take that.
50%'s not bad. I've only just beaten that with a 7 out of 12. Smoot also 7. And Beans ran away with it. Only Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns let him down. So he's 10 out of 12.
And yet, he's not here to relish in his victory again.
No. And I said at the start, anything could happen. Anything has happened. Well, one very specific thing's happened. Beans has caught up a little bit.
Yeah.
Smoot, you're still behind, but managing to stay
in the hunt.
21 out of 41, is that 50%? 42 would be 50%. So you're just over.
Yeah.
Right? Just over. Half a point over half the 50%. That's good. Hang on to that. Beans and Will both on 26 out of 41. I'm only narrowly ahead on 30. I'm going to stop bragging, because I downplayed it last year. I'm going to enjoy this while I can, because now I know it may not last.
Yeah.
So, 30 points, yeah! I lost the show, but I'm still in the lead.
Yeah.
Just like in the Tour de France, I may have lost this little section of the race, but I've still got the yellow jersey.
Also,
and I'm a cyclist with shaved legs.
Aerodynamics.
As well.
Aerodynamics. Also, the actual retail price of how long the pay-per-view lasted, according to the WWE Network, was 3 hours, 36 minutes. Chucks won it by 6 minutes there. Way to go. Way to go.
Yeah. Will was pretty close too, right? Didn't you say 350 or something?
Yeah.
358, yeah. But you were the closest. 58. You were the closest not going over.
Yeah, I win.
Congratulations.
Going back to your cyclist analogy there, does that mean you're off your face on drugs as well?
Yeah, I've got someone else's blood in me at the moment.
Oh my god.
And one testicle.
Fair enough. Just checking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the pay-per-view prediction game. Let's throw it back here real quick. A couple of headlines. One being for this Monday. It's projected that Stephanie McMahon is going to show up and announce an all-women pay-per-view, possibly upcoming this September. By the speculation of the dirt sheets and whatnot. You guys' thoughts on this? Yeah, possibly. Could be something else.
There is also another rumor going around from a dude on Reddit. So take it for what it's worth. But the dude has some history. He's like a belt guy.
Uh-huh.
He has bought, sold, traded ring-used belts, apparently, and occasionally makes some. He says he doesn't make belts or work for WWE, but he does have sources within and outside the company. So, he says that the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship belts have been finished and will be a part of the announcement that Stephanie is giving on.
Is it from Mets Fan for Life?
No.
Okay, then I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Not buying it.
Yeah.
No buys.
No buys.
You can't just be like, yeah, a dude from Reddit saying this is gonna happen. Like that's nice. Unless it's from Mets Fan for Life. No.
Okay, but if this happens, if this turns out to be the thing, then you have to believe him.
Well, it's Mets Fan for Life with a different Reddit account.
Of course. Only Mets fan knows.
Could the two not be linked? Maybe we're getting a women's tag title match at the women's pay-per-view?
Very possibly.
It's possible, yeah. Maybe they'll christen a new set of belts there where Stephanie's going to break some champagne over the tag belts, and then there you go. That's going to be probably dead in half of a month.
I like this rumor more than the pay-per-view, or maybe both. Yeah, no, could be both. I like it mostly because it's so obviously going to be Sasha and Bayley.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Right? Like it all makes sense.
So they've been prologuing this whole thing, and first off, what the hell happened to Dr. Shelby? That's the biggest.
He was replaced just by some woman, right?
Yeah.
The next week.
With no explanation, no, like the freeze frame of Dr. Shelby looking like Ryback, being denied food, and the to be continued thing at the bottom was probably the most cold kill off of a character I think in WWE television in quite some time.
Since Paul Bearer was left in the freezer.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cold kill off.
Yeah, that was literally a cold kill off. Yeah. No, I just that's the payoff I want to see is what happened to Dr. Shelby. I don't give a fuck about Bayley and Sasha at this point. Even if it's on an all-women pay-per-view, I do not give a fuck about it.
So the new storyline is that, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly, but it sounds a little bit like there's a possibility that there's a little, little interest thing going on here.
For an all-women pay-per-view, sure.
Alternative lifestyle-wise between Sasha and Bayley.
No, I don't care.
I got that. Yeah, I was a bit like, is that will they really going down that angle with this?
If they are, cool. Don't give a fuck.
Still don't care.
No.
It would be different.
Yes. Is it different to the storyline? Absolutely. Is it going to make me care more about it? No. Don't give a fuck.
There is a rumor that Bischoff is coming back. Maybe he's going to bring back HLH.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, cool. I don't know. That I'm a little bit interested just to see if they actually do it and see, because they can't do a kind of HLA style like really bad. They can't handle it that badly, right? They have to be more sensitive and do it very, very positively, almost too positively, probably.
Yeah.
Like now they both admit they have feelings for each other, and now they just can't lose matches anymore. They're great.
That's gonna be the payoff in it when they win the tag titles.
Yeah.
Oh god, I can see it now.
Yeah.
Uh,
God, with Bischoff back though, not live sex celebration.
God.
That's ratings. If they need ratings.
yeah, it'll be exclusively on the network though, just to piss everyone off.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. I'm not actually that against this idea. Just to see, because
I'm not really. I just thought it was funny.
yeah. Because last time they did it, it was like Mickey James as the creepy stalker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trish.
Or like, this one I think they could actually make it work. Or Billy and Chuck, that was the other one.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
god. Forgot about that. Ugh.
The other main story, besides the weather getting a little bit ugly outside here, Hulk Hogan, as announced by WWE.com, is reinstated back into the Hall of Fame. Apparently, he was backstage last week at Raw to film a WWE Network special about how there's cameras always following you around and you got to watch what you say. So a lot of people, myself included, it sounded like a apologetic non-apology, that he wasn't sorry for what he said, he was sorry that he got caught for what he said.
Right.
Which doesn't fly well with me. I think he's still a piece of shit, and I don't give a fuck about him. Much like Bayley and Sasha. So
yeah, this was
it's great that he's back in the Hall of Fame. I respect for what he did for the business and all that. I hate to sound like Triple H for what he did in this business. No, I respect what he did for the business, but as a human being, he's a piece of shit. Like, flat out piece of shit.
Did you read Titus O'Neil's response to...
I didn't read it. I saw that he was liking comments on Instagram that basically said, like, fuck Hogan or whatever.
Right.
Which was all that you needed to say, yeah.
Well, if you check out his Twitter, he's got one of those, series of screenshots posts.
Right.
Where he's written out, unfortunately, he must echo the sentiment and dissatisfaction expressed by many of my fellow contemporaries. That's redundant. You don't need to say fellow. Concerning Mr. Blair's apology and its lack of true contrition, morose, and a desire to change. Mr. Blair's apology that he didn't know he was being recorded is not morose for the hateful and violent utterances he made, which replies language, blah, blah, blah. So, I stand firm in my position that Hogan is entitled to reinstatement. He's a role model, hero, and icon. I expect that he shall pursue an agenda that clearly communicates to all third parties that his language was inappropriate, wrong, and should not be tolerated in a civilized and inclusive society. So he doesn't sound like a big fan.
Yeah, the thing with Hogan is that he also thought that Bam Margera was dead instead of Ryan Dunn.
That was the other one.
You really want me to buy into the apology tour that Hogan's doing? Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my 2 cents on the matter.
So could it be that Bobby Lashley wins the Universal title at SummerSlam and Hogan raises his arm?
Oh no. You
imagine.
Oh man. Does anybody really want to see Hulk Hogan versus Lashley?
Oh, not in a match. Hogan's not wrestling again.
Okay. No. Good. Let's keep it that way.
But he could endorse.
Let's keep it that way.
He could endorse the new champion.
That's nice. How about endorsing an apology, like a real apology?
He was very sorry that he was caught saying it. I'm sure he's sorry that people were upset as well. I like that one. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Was the story not that O'Neil didn't shake his hand as well backstage?
He says that let it be known that I did not refuse to shake Mr. Belair's hand. We did not have any type of one-on-one interaction whatsoever that would or did necessitate any exchange between us individually. So he didn't shake his arm, he didn't shake his hand or grab his arm. He didn't. Apparently they just didn't cross paths.
Yeah.
The reports and rumors concerning my boycotting Extreme Rules is false and inaccurate. I was not scheduled to attend or be a participant in the production. So, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you're right. Back in the Hall of Fame, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know, in some ways I think he probably shouldn't have been kicked out. I don't know that really does any good. I don't think that really makes much of a statement.
A lot of people in the Hall of Fame right now have done questionable things in the past.
To say the least, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the fact that they put their foot down on this. I mean, that's great and all, but he never really gave like a full heartfelt apology for what he did.
Well, and why take him out if you're just going to put him back in?
Right.
And now you set up that standard where if you do it for this guy, you now have to do it for everyone.
Yeah. Also,
whereas if you just left it.
Yeah. Also, when Hogan got fired from the company, the recent season of Tough Enough was still on the air. If you remember that.
Yeah.
Paige was one of the judges, and what was it? Sarah Lee and the big tall guy with the wacky hair.
The Velveteen Dream was on there.
Yeah, he's probably the most successful person to come out of that, I feel.
Was it Mandy Rose? No. Who was the other girl? There's Sarah Lee and then like one other one.
Yeah, maybe it was Mandy. I don't know.
Was it Mandy Rose?
No, I think Mandy just got like a random contract deal, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, the actual winners haven't done shit, is my point.
Sure.
They're guaranteed this contract and money, and yet we haven't seen a second of them on TV. Whereas, Velveteen Dream is in NXT and killing it from what I understand. So kudos to him. And Mandy, if she was on that season of Tough Enough, she's also been killing it.
No, Mandy was not on it.
Okay.
Patrick Clark was on it there. Daria Baronato was on it, so that's Sonya Deville.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Sarah Lee, Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Laurel Van Ness. Anyone else that we would know?
Pretty much anybody.
Yeah, Mandy Rose. There you go. She was called Amanda back then.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I knew she was on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So that's right, because Miz saved her because she was hot, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I think he just said, well, she looks great, so I'm going to save her.
Yeah. It just goes back to the whole premise of the show is that people who are not the winners have the more successful careers than the actual winners do. Is my point.
To be honest, that's not really limited to Tough Enough. I mean, most reality shows seem to be that way.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know about you, what it's like over there, but I mean, we have the X Factor and stuff like that, and the winners never seem to do anything. It's the people who go off early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get one album, usually something for Christmas, and then yeah. So before that, we had Andy Levine win, Big Andy, Silent Rage, on the same season as Ivelisse Velez. She's done alright for herself. And Ariane Andrew, of course.
Yeah.
Who was
Cameron.
Cameron.
Who didn't know how to pin somebody.
Yeah. How has Christina Crawford never become anything? That's Alicia Fox's sister. I thought they would sign her straight away.
Ooh. Some thunder.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and Martin, he's Marty the Moth, right? On is that him? Yeah, Lucha Underground. There you go. Creepy character on Lucha Underground.
Well, I think the rain's coming in. So, is there anything else you guys want to add? I think this is a good time to wrap the show up.
Looking through all Tough Enough seasons now.
Great.
Sooner or later, I'll bump into Johnny Nitro.
Oh, God.
Some slightly interesting breaking news.
Quickly.
It is quick, to be honest. We just apparently Paige has just announced it's going to be a tag tournament for the SmackDown tag titles. With the winners obviously at SummerSlam. So.
Did she say who's involved? I'm guessing like Bar, Usos.
She
maybe.
didn't.
Hell no.
No. It was a Instagram, Twitter video.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for this week. So take care. We're gonna be back hopefully next week if we've got stuff to talk about, which I'm pretty sure we will with in regards to the major announcement from Stephanie. I'm sure Kurt Angle's gonna do or say something dumb or look at his phone on Raw. Also, the #1 contendership for Brock Lesnar's title at SummerSlam this Monday. Whoever's going to win it, either Reigns or Lashley. It could be a draw. It could be a triple threat.
Oh, we didn't mention NXT. Sorry, I don't know if anyone's seen. I know we don't really talk NXT weekly, but
yeah, there's like a breaking story with that.
There was quite a eventful event on this week's show. I won't spoil it if anyone hasn't seen it, but it's a good main event.
There you go. So check that out on the WWE Network. Also, we're on voiceofwrestling.net. You can catch up on all the shows there as well.
Yeah.
As I think IWCradio.com. That's also a website you can check out. I'm going to go hunker down. So I'll catch you guys hopefully next week.
All right. See
you later.
Take care. Have a good one. Good night. See you next week.